Hi, I'm Dr. Romano, professor of organic chemistry here at Romano Scientific and the creator of OrgoMan products such as the DAT Destroyer book. Professor Blois is going to go over a problem with you today on the word problems that you're going to see on the DAT. This particular one would be on percent change. Is that correct, Professor?
Right.
So he's going to work on these problems, so I want you to pay attention very closely, and this will give you a good idea how to handle them. All right, Professor.
Okay, percent change. Let's go right to the first problem here. I'll read it for you. Dr. Yankowitz charged $800 for a root canal in 2017, and in 2018 raised his price to $1,000. What is the percent increase from 2017 to 2018? So this is a percent change problem. So let me give you here's the general formula for percent change. And it's very simple. A percent change is equal to the new value minus the old value divided by the old value and then times 100%. So new minus old. If the new value is greater, the percent change is going to be positive. It's going to be a percent increase. If the new value is smaller than the old value, the percent change is going to be negative. It's going to be a percent decrease. And that difference is always being compared against the old value. That's why the old value is in the denominator. So let's apply this to this problem. Dr. Yankowitz charges $800 for a root canal in 2017. Okay, well, that is the old value. So we know that $800 is going to go in those two positions. The new value is $1,000. So that's 1,000 minus 800 divided by 800 times 100%. Okay, and we just turn the crank. 1,000 minus 800 is 200 over 800 times 100%. And what do we get here? This comes out to be 1/4 times 100%, and that equals 25%. So the $1,000 represents a 25% increase over last year's price. All right, here's another instance of a percent change problem. Let's read it together, and it's a slightly different complexion. This year, the harvest of oats is 180 tons, which represents a 20% increase from last year's harvest. How large was last year's harvest? All right, well, now we have, yes, we know that 180 tons is a 20% more. Let's let X represent last year's harvest. Okay, that was last year's harvest. What did we have? What happened to last year's harvest? It increased by 20%. So let's write this down. We have 100% of last year's harvest, right? And that increased by 20% of that harvest. 100% of X time plus 20% of X, and that equals the 180 tons. That represents this year's harvest, the 20% increase. Well, now we can solve this very easily. 100% X plus 20% X, that's equal to 120% X, which is equal to, changing a percent to a decimal, it's 1.2X equals 180. And now we simply divide both sides by 1.2, divide both sides by 1.2, and we're going to get X is equal to 180 divided by 1.2. Let's move the decimal place over one place, so it's 1800 over 12, and then we'll divide by, how about 6? 6 goes into 12 twice, into 1800 300 times, and the final result is 300 over 2, or 150. So last year's harvest was 150. Increase that by 20%, and you get your 180, and this is how to go backwards to that year. All right, so now we have the third problem. A shirt originally costs X dollars, but is now on sale at 20% off. Represent the discounted price algebraically. All right, well, how about we say let X equal the discounted price, right, the discounted price. We have 100% of X. And what does it mean to have a 20% discount? That means we're subtracting 20% of the price, right? And subtracting it from the full price, the full 100%. Well, 100% of X minus 20% of X is equal to 80% of X. And if we want to represent that more succinctly, it's 0.8x. right? So if something is on sale for 20% off, you don't have to compute 20% of the value and then subtract it. No, just subtract the 20% from 100, get 80%, multiply that by the original cost, and you'll get your discount. Okay, so let's apply this to a shirt that originally cost $31. All right, how much is the discounted shirt cost? The discounted shirt, the discount is equal to 0.8 times 31. Okay, 31 is the full price. We're only paying 80%. What's this equal to? 8 times 1 is 8. 8 times 3 is 24. $24.80. There we are. That's the discounted price, 20% off the $31. Okay.
Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed another tape by Professor Blois. Be sure to check out all the other tapes on our YouTube channel. He's done a whole arsenal, and next semester there's going to be a whole bunch more. What are your plans for the statistics? Can we get some statistics in here in the near future, the comparisons for the newer type questions?
Oh, absolutely, sure.
All right, so we'll be working on them for you guys. All right, guys, good luck. Bye-bye.